This is the Eric McKenna Show on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. Matt Durzik in studio as adopted co-host. They're still there. The filter's still there. I don't know what's going on. Hold on, let me get you up here. So I see you're on 3 today.
Hello. Hello, friends. You are listening to the Eric McKenna Show, and hopefully some of you are watching us live on Facebook as we continue to do our, typical weekly, what would you say, what is that, musical chairs, electronic thing going on?
Something like that.
Chaos, typical chaos. Before we get going here, Matt, are we centered on Facebook Live? Can our friends see us?
I'd say move a little bit more towards you again.
So, this way?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that there you go.
There we are. See, it's
Yeah.
this is the either the virtues or the charm or the craziness of live radio.
It's very crazy.
This is the Eric McKenna Show. I am your very humble host, Eric McKenna.
Yes.
With my adopted co-host and producer extraordinaire, I might add, Mr. Matt Durzik.
Yeah.
Sports pontificator. Matt spends 2 hours every Saturday from 8 to 10, which precedes my show with the incomparable Greg Benedetti on the Sports Slam, one of my favorite shows. And, of course, I try to call in.
Right.
I try to participate.
Yeah.
You don't look too excited about that.
I'm just distracted by that dang filter that's up. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's
so apparently on this Facebook Live broadcast we have today.
If you're wondering what's going on, if you're watching on Facebook Live right now, there's a filter that's on there that it's those glasses they sell at New Year's with the 2018 as Eric wrestles with the microphone.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're just all like discombobulated today.
Just a little, but that's okay.
It is okay. But I will tell you, friends, because a lot of you have commented off air and during the week with emails and texts, and you guys think this is kind of funny. It's like a mad dash, like the Keystone Cops. It is a little bit. Don't laugh. So what we're doing here at the station is we're realigning some things and we're moving things around. We're becoming more automated. And in this process, hopefully, what it will do is enable us to be more organized. See, I basically, to be long and short of it, I might as well tell them how it used to work. How it used to work was there was a program that was on for about 15 minutes. Well, it was on for 30 minutes before my show. But it was on for 15 minutes during the racing season, called the Lead Lap.
Right.
And Matt would organize the show or produce it, and a guest host, Frank Sparks, the Sir Frank Sparks, did the show. And during that time, I had the ability for 15 more minutes or 30 minutes to get organized.
Yes.
And have things out where they belong. Prepare. Yeah. Breathe. All that good stuff.
It's only a month and a half till Daytona.
Well, that'll help us then. So that will return, right? But while the show is no longer broadcast, I have to adapt. It means I have to get set up here in 3-4 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, about 5. I'd say 5.
He's exaggerating. It's actually about 3-4 minutes. And then you play my music, and then I might get that extra second or two.
Right.
But friends, enough of that nonsense. Thank you so much for making us a part of your Saturday. This is the first show of 2018.
Yeah.
We're here, and Matt, I have to correct you. This is show 70.
Yes,
last week was show 69. See, I know, and you had something prepared for. I knew you had something prepared for 69. This is show 70, and coincidentally, it is the first show of the new year. It doesn't go without you great people, both Facebook Live and our wide area coverage on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBDP and 1460 WMBA. This is a little science experiment, this show is. It's had many forms. It started as a 60-minute format back in, oh my goodness, I hate to say this now, 2016.
Yeah.
And we had a heck of a year last year. We went to 90 minutes. We went to Wednesday for a short period of time, and the audience demanded that we came back to Saturday. That was honored by Mr. Mark Peterson, commonly known as the Grand Poobah.
The Grand Poobah.
Around here. So, and they brought me back graciously to Saturday and at a 2-hour format. So we are here every week. This is the Eric McKenna Show. It's real estate talk and more. And oftentimes when we do what Matt and I call the free-for-all, when we don't have a guest, the and more part is big.
Right.
So, because, again, I'm a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors out of Swickley and Robinson, and this is a real estate show. And we've talked a lot of real estate here. We've had phenomenal guests, which we do have another one today, which I will get into in a second. His second appearance on the Eric McKenna Show. I'm very happy he came back. Despite the fact there wasn't anything in the hospitality room today, there wasn't any, luxurious Orem's donuts. There wasn't any, coffee. There wasn't, Mark, are you listening? There wasn't.
We're starting the year off right.
What better way to plead my case than to put it out on the air? But we have real estate sphere guests on this show often, and it's been great. We've had closing companies, we've had home inspectors, we've had roofers and painters, and let's just tell you right now, this show lead sponsor Hope Roofing. That's right, Hamilton Hope Roofing, our lead sponsor, and my website, calleric.com, the two lead sponsors of the Eric McKenna Show every Saturday here on Beaver County Radio from 10 to noon. Always join us at 12:30 and 1460 on your radio and on the Facebook live stream, which Matt says looks a little odd because we have some kind of really cool filter on there that my big thumb must have clicked on somehow. But it's still visible, right? You're just like bothered by it.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm
not. Is it a vignette? You know what a vignette is? I'm a photographer. So a vignette is where the outside of the edges of the screen or the picture are kind of darker and it goes in. Is that kind of what you're looking at? Am I distorted right now?
You're not distorted. The image is not distorted.
Okay.
It's just it looks like you have glasses on that say 2018.
I'm so confused on
that. Trust me, when you look back at this, it will make a lot more sense. And actually, they're on your guest right now, too.
Okay. All right. I'm delighted to have my good friend, Mr. Ed Sickmund. He's Mr. Everything when it comes to mobile storage, and which naturally, and Ed will correct me, and he will correct me when I stumble here, because I naturally will, especially in my first segment, because I seem to always do that during my first segment.
Yeah, it happens.
Don't rub it in.
Okay.
Matt, don't rub it in. And we are going to talk mobile storage and what My Way Storage, my go-to storage company is for my buyers and my sellers, and we don't mention the other guys on this show. But My Way is the way to go. And we're going to talk to Ed a little bit about his company, just a tad about the history, and then we're going to get into why, when you're moving, you may need his services, and then what his services entail. And Ed is actually the first guest we ever had on the show. Did you know that, Ed?
I did not.
Yes, you are. You were the first guest on the Eric McKenna Show way back.
Yeah.
Back. About a year ago, is that right?
It sounds like it.
Yeah, about a year ago.
And how about that? Back again and for the first show in 2018. So Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. He's doing great.
He's getting right into it.
He's right into it. And he wished everybody a Happy New Year that I hadn't even gotten to yet.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. That's awesome. In the second hour, Ed and I are going to be joined by Miss Sandra Lane, who is, and you're going to love this, folks, because if there's anyone that needs this wonderful woman's services, it's me. She is a professional organizing specialist. Generally. That's the title. Am I right, or something close to that?
Oh, you're perfect. And she works with a lot of different folks, and from young to old, and really impacts their life tremendously.
She's a board-certified professional organizer, and that's not only sounds impressive, it is impressive. It is impressive. So we're going to have some good talk here, and again, always in the real estate sphere when we have guests on here, and I'm delighted that Ed came back today. And, oh, my goodness, we already toward our first break here. Why do you do this to me?
I don't know.
You do this to me every week. I'm just getting into this.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Thank you for tuning into the Eric McKenna Show here on WBVP and WMBA. And again, thank you for making us a part. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
See, when I give my producer, Matt Durzik, free reins to the music, this is what I get.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Great bumper music
Yeah,
for
not bad.
Saturday morning. You know?
Let's just give it another 10 seconds.
Okay.
I like it. Friends, we'll be right back, I promise. Hi, friends. This is RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna, host of the weekly Eric McKenna Show right here on WBVP and WMBA. I really hope you're enjoying today's show. Friends, I can be your personal realtor. That's right. I'm currently accepting new clients right here in Beaver County, and I'd be honored to be your personal realtor. So if you're ready to buy or sell your home, let's get together and let me put my innovative marketing to work for you. And I promise you, I'll be there every step of the way. So if you like my show, hire me as your personal realtor. Call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. You can also email me at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. And of course, please visit my website. You guessed it, calleric.com. I just love it when my listeners become clients. So friends, let me be your personal realtor.
The Reverend Gary Hilton and the Reverend Alan Brooks of Chippewa United Methodist Church would like to cordially invite you to come join their congregation in celebrating the life of Christ every Sunday morning from 11 to 11:30 a.m. on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. The Chippewa United Methodist Church is located at 2545 Darlington Road in Beaver Falls. So if you can't make it to the service, then listen every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA to the Reverend Gary Hilton and the Reverend Alan Brooks of Chippewa United Methodist Church.
Check us out at beavercountyradio.com.
And we're back on the Eric McKenna Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, wait a second. What's going on here, man? Is this what you're saying that we have?
I'm telling you, that's exactly what's happening.
So I'm looking at the Facebook Live feed, my friends, and now I understand what Matt's referring to.
Yeah.
There's Ed's got like
a
a
New Year's hat.
Don't I treat my guests great? This is awesome.
Show up and get your free pair of glasses right off the spot.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is great. So apparently
We can hear ourselves too.
Yes, we can. Hold on, I'll fix that. Hold on. Okay, no. A little reverb. They call that reverb or feedback.
That's okay.
Depending on what your musical palette is.
It happened on Teleform yesterday.
I got the 2018 on my. Look at that.
Yeah. But see, with you, it sort of fades in and out because it's sort
Good.
of. Yeah.
Friends on the radio, what we're talking about here is we have a Facebook live stream going on, and if you've been a regular listener, I thank you for that. But you probably have heard us lament many times when the show starts that our Facebook live feed doesn't always work.
Well, it works this morning.
It works this morning, but my big thumb
With a caveat.
must have hit a filter. I guess that's what these kids use with Instagram or
Snapchat.
Yeah, whatever. But listen, I do some of that stuff.
Facebook.
Yeah, I'm into it, but I don't get the filter thing. But there's a filter which kind of puts like a 2018 goggles on our face and a little funny hat.
Yeah.
It's tremendously funny, I tell you.
And I'm sorry.
At least he's owning up to it. At least he's like, you know what? This is happening. And
so check this out. This is what we're going to do to our Facebook Live audience here. If there is a skilled Facebook Live person out there that can tell us how to succinctly remove this.
Yes.
We don't want to lose the feed. That's the thing. And, we've had some trouble with the feed. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Okay. All right, we're going to move along, even though I'm going to try not to look too often at this because every time I see 2018 flashing on my face, I start to laugh. Right. So we're just going to, we're going to go back to the professional etiquette that we exude on this show on a regular basis.
Right.
I'm lying. So we have our good friend Ed Sickmund from My Way Storage.
Mobile storage.
See, I always butcher that. My Way Mobile Storage.
And keyword's always mobile because we bring the containers right to your driveway.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that. But the address, the web address to visit them online, which is always important, on the Call Eric show is mywaystorage.com. So the mobile's not in there. And I'm guessing you did that to keep it simpler.
That's right. Simple's always important.
It is important. Well, I mean, with Matt and I, you have to keep it simple because, the least bit complexity, and we're way off the charts.
Yeah.
Way off the charts.
Where there's smoke.
Yes, there's much fire. Yes, there is. The way to reach Ed, I'll put this right out here if you got your pencils handy, friends, because we're going to get into exactly what he does. But it's 412-427-5719. That's 412-427-5719. We'll give that number a few more times and the web address. Ed, I'm going to give you the floor for a second here. Again, we did, just briefly, can you give us an idea of your background and how you came into this business and, how we got to this point today?
Sure. Eric, I appreciate the opportunity, and I've been at My Way for over 10 years now, and I don't want to call it a retirement, but I left my previous employment.
You can.
Okay. I had a very good career at Cintas, the uniform people. Mm-hmm. Spent 26 and a half years with them, and had a friend of mine that opened up a mobile storage company in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and went up and took a look at it, really liked the concept, and convinced him that he should allow me to be the first franchise of his group in Pittsburgh in 2007. So we opened up in June of 2007 and have normally service a little bit over 325 customers per year. And we provide moving and storage solutions for those folks that either are moving or need storage. And that can range from, someone that's moving within a 3 or 4 mile radius of their current home to a 50-mile radius of the Pittsburgh area.
Okay. And why this is so important also is because of the fact that as a realtor, friends, when I go to list a home where my seller is moving, or they may have one heck of a lot of stuff in their house, belongings and so forth, furniture, because they're outgrown their house and we're moving them to a bigger home. Oftentimes, finding a way to make the house show a little better is a big reason why mobile storage is used as well.
And that's a main reason why a number of realtors recommend us, is because everybody has too much of that S stuff.
Yes, correct.
Way too much. And
yes.
The floor plan needs to be opened up so the house flows for the prospective buyer coming in. And this is a great way to do it, where we deliver the containers right to the driveway. The homeowner takes their time, pulls a few items out of each room, allows the floor plan to open up, and then we take it back to our climate-controlled storage in West Mifflin.
And that's a phenomenal service there, because I've had customers worry so often, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to have to go rent like a self-storage facility, put this in? Some of these things I don't want to be in cold environments, especially in the winter. And Ed's company, basically, it's like a one-stop operation from start to finish. I mean, it's. Am I correct? And you bring the containers, we fill them up, or the client fills them up, and then you come and arrange for the transportation to the climate-controlled facility.
That's correct. Or if it's a direct move, we'll take it to their new address versus going back to our facility. We also recommend companies that provide hourly labor for those clients that need help with the heavy lifting.
When Uncle Jim and Cousin Freddie don't really want to.
Right.
Or
right.
you may not want Uncle Jim and Cousin Freddie to do anything.
The pickup truck and the case of beer just didn't work for that, china cabinet.
Understood. Friends, we're talking to Ed Sickmund here with My Way Mobile Storage here in southwestern Pennsylvania, our go-to mobile storage company. Ed, I know you know a little bit about my story as well, too, and what I love about you is you're very customer-centric, not just in words. I mean, it's one thing to come on the radio and say you do this or you do that, but I know Ed, and I know how he runs his business, and I know how he has treated my buyers and sellers, and in that vein, I appreciate the fact that you really go above and beyond to make sure the customer is really satisfied, and that's where I think it separates you from the competition in Pittsburgh.
Well, one of the things, Eric, the phone number that I gave out is my cell phone number. So, again, I don't have a problem in doing that because, I feel it's important for clients to know who they're dealing with and have that comfort level. Just from a customer service standpoint, I can relate one story to you quickly where we had a client that had to be out of the house by Monday at 10 for the final walkthrough. She had ordered a number of containers from us because you load by room, and she called me Sunday afternoon at 3:59 that she needed additional containers.
Wow.
I believe the Steelers were playing that night at 8:30, and so a very cold, rainy day, and my son and myself got in our two My Way vehicles
Wow.
and drove additional containers out. She had them by 6 p.m. that night and was able to load up the next morning and have everything out of the house for the walkthrough.
And that is the service. And I wish, I think that mobile storage is an underutilized aspect of real estate. I wish more clients really understood that. I know I do my best to explain the benefits of that because, again, as Matt and I have talked about on this show many times, when you go to list your home, it's important to indeed have, you're putting your best foot forward. And oftentimes, you're moving because you've outgrown your home. This is a very typical reason of moving. And when you have more furniture, or you're trying to ram, as they say, 20 pounds of stuff in a 10-pound barrel, and oftentimes a lot of our homes are like that. If you're able to strategically and effectively eliminate some of the belongings from the house, it does show better. The house will show better. That's why you want to work with your realtor. That's why you want to work with someone like Ed here who can take care of those belongings. And sometimes I tell people, too, they get hung up. They for whatever reason, they just want to store the items. They don't want to take it to the facility, or they just want to store them for a week or two. And I say, well, it's great to have the belongings taken to the facility. That's part of the whole effectiveness of My Way. But, at times we've had clients that just want to store the bins at the house, and that's
Correct.
Okay as well. Correct?
That is okay.
That is okay.
Yep.
And I think
it's the same price whether it's
Correct.
on their property or inside our climate-controlled facility.
Correct. Okay, friends, you're listening to the Eric McKenna Show. Matt, I'm going to have you go to an early break. I've got to make a real quick phone call here.
Okay.
Real estate related, I can assure you. And we'll be right back.
All right.
From kickoff to the coach's press conference, we are Steelers game day.
Touchdown! Antonio Brown right down the gut.
This is Bill Hillgrove. Along with Tunch Ilkin and Craig Wolfley, we bring you every game and all of the coverage that keeps you up to date with everything black and gold. Right here on the Pittsburgh Steelers Football Network.
And the crowd is enjoying every minute of it.
Follow the Steelers all season long on Beaver County Radio. Tune in this Sunday for exciting Steelers football with Bill Hillgrove, Tunch Ilkin, and Craig Wolfley. Steelers football is brought to you locally by Steeltown Sounds, 5 Star Medical, Medic Rescue, XL Mortgage, Ron Raymer CPA, Beth Hazen Nationwide Insurance, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center, Junction Auto Service, and Beaver County Radio. 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
Who's this week's pick of the litter? Listen to WBVP and WNBA every Monday and Friday from 9 a.m. till 12 noon for the Beaver County Humane Society's pick of the litter. We'll be highlighting 2 lucky resident animals from the shelter who need a loving home. Plus, we'll be featuring pictures and information about the animals on our website each week. It's WBVP and WNBA's pick of the litter each Monday and Friday from 9 a.m. to noon.
Brought to you each week by the 19th Hole in Chippewa, Dr. Allison Scavuzzo in Freedom, Albert's Heating and Air Conditioning in Conway, Vibrant Images in Bridgewater, Canine Kingdom in Vanport, Attorney Michael W. Nally in Aliquippa, Laura's Loving Pet Sitting and Walking Services, Beaver Agway, and Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
Beaver County's hometown radio stations, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
Okay, we are back. Woo! That's a first.
Yeah.
You know, your personal realtor, yours truly here.
Had to get personal.
Yeah, I had an interesting text come in that kind of like shook me for a second there, but it was a false alarm. And because I care about my clients so much, as Ed does, Ed Sickmund of My Way Storage, we address it. Even if I got to
My Way Mobile Storage.
My Way Mobile Storage, man.
Matt, I appreciate that.
Do you see what's going on here?
Told you I was going to pay attention.
But thanks for your patience. And thank you, Matt, for your skilled diversion tactics there to get me to a break.
No problem.
I appreciate that. It worked out good. And Ed, thanks for your patience.
Sure.
But that's what I do. You know, us realtors, we have to be on call. That's what we do.
24/7.
24/7. We're here with Ed.
Is that true?
Shh, no. I have to take at least a couple hours off, you know? So, to our Facebook Live audience, thank you so much. You all are phenomenal. Mark and James and David and Wendy and Doug and Mark's back again. Thank you. Does anybody know on Facebook Live how to remove the goggles? 2018 goggles. Yeah. That's what's happening here. Yeah. And the funny part about it is once in a while. See, friends, if you got to know Matt Durzik, it's awesome. He's like a 40-year-old guy in like a 22-year-old body. Meaning that he's only been on the earth for a short period of time, but he's wise beyond his years. So when that wisdom sometimes clashes with like where he's at in life, he's like a millennial. Are you a millennial?
Yeah, I guess I'm technically classified.
So what I'm
as
saying,
one of
I
those.
can see those. I can see where like the cool hip stuff clashes with like the astute, more thought-provoking Matt. When it all clashes, you get this like glazed grin, and it's awesome. Awesome. So what I'm saying here is Matt was like, filters. You don't know what filters are. No, Matt, I don't know what filters are. But and he kept saying we have goggles on. And I'm thinking to myself, what is he talking about? Like, are you looking like through a vignette? And here there's flipping goggles on our face. This is insane.
This is social media run amok.
Right. Social media run amok. Okay, but to our listening audience on Beaver County Radio, thanks for tolerating us, as you always do every week. And you continue to make this show go. I don't know how. This show is sponsored. Oh, by the way, our guest, of course, the astute Mr. Ed Sickmund with My Way Mobile Storage. And we're talking mobile storage here today. But this show is also powered by some great people, powered by my website. I'm not referring to me as being great. I'm just saying my website's kind of cool. CallEric.com, and that's where my realtor practice is. You can learn all about my views and my thoughts on real estate. Every show, or just about every show that we've ever done here is recorded and edited and on there. I have a McKenna Minute segment, which is real estate tips and lots of information. That's CallEric.com. This show is also sponsored by our good friends at Frags Tags in downtown Coraopolis for all your title, notary, and transfer needs. That's Frags Tags at 412-264-3018. 412-264-3018. That's Frags Tags. Of course, our go-to mortgage agent, the lovely Miss Leslie Raymond with Union Home Mortgage at 412-719-5673. Not only does she do new mortgage origination, but she does refinancing. That's Leslie Raymond at 412-719-5673. NMLS number 138287 and PA license number 29666. Of course, Matt Pia and Steve Kowalik from the ever popular and ever important home inspection realm. That's Division 9 Home Inspection. You can reach Matt or Steve directly at 412-350-8592, 412-350-8592, or visit them at Division, the number 9, inspection.com. And of course, our great friend Diamond Dave. Diamond Dave Bishop with Big Bang Comics and Collectibles right there on Broad Street in Swickley. A cornucopia of fun. Take your kids, take your family, take your nieces and nephews, take your neighbor. You'll love it there. Big Bang Comics and Collectibles, 412-259-8742. That's 412-259-8742. And check them out on Facebook, please. It's Big Bang Comics. Just look that up. It'll show up. You'll love it. Dave's a great guy. Of course, our newer sponsor, our good friend Bob Donnell with RAD Productions. That's R-A-D Productions, portrait photography and photo booth rentals. I've seen the photo booth rentals in action, friends. They are a blast. If you're having a party, a get-together, a family reunion, contact Bob Donnell at 412-269-0592. 412-269-0592. That's RAD, RAD Productions, portrait photography and photo booth rentals, or look them up at RAD Productions on Facebook. And, of course, our lead sponsor of the show, my go-to roofer. What a great guy. Hamilton Hope, and a recurring guest on this show, I might add. See, I didn't forget that.
Yeah.
Not bad. That's Hamilton Hope with Hope Roofing. Over 25 years in the Valley and taking care of people. You can't find a person that ever has a bad thing to say about Hamilton, because you know what? There's nothing to say. He is tremendous. As a man, as a businessman, and most importantly in this realm, as a tremendous roofer. That's Hamilton Hope Roofing. That's 412-264-7598. 412-264-7598. That's Hamilton Hope with Hope Roofing. You can visit them at hoperoofingandgutters.com. That's hoperoofingandgutters.com. Hamilton Hope with Hope Roofing. Now I can breathe. And the 2018 are still on Ed in my face.
A little distracting, but, you know, hey, I didn't miss New Year's, but I just wanted to keep going, you know?
Oh, live radio. This is just great. This is great. You're listening to the Eric McKenna Show here on Beaver County Radio, which comprises 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA, as my producer takes a very deep, exasperated breath. Because I've forgotten to give you the numbers you need to call.
That's right.
That's right. 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. We encourage your calls for me or for Ed with My Way Mobile Storage.
Hey, Eric, one of the things that you that I'd like to bring up is a convenience factor of loading our containers versus, you know, getting a U-Haul truck and taking it to self-storage. Normally, when you get the U-Haul truck, things aren't as convenient as you think they're going to be. Lines are a little bit longer at the U-Haul place.
Yes. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. And, you know, then you have to make everything happen the same day that you get the U-Haul truck.
Correct.
So if it's minus 2 degrees out, guess who's doing the U-Haul truck?
Ooh.
You are.
Yes.
If the containers are delivered to your driveway, you wait until maybe Monday of next week when the weather breaks and it's going to be in the 30s.
Such a better scheme, such a better strategy, friends. Absolutely right. Take it from someone who's hauled a lot of furniture in my day and a lot of inclement weather.
Right.
So Ed's system here at My Way Mobile Storage is much better. Have the container delivered, and then you, when it fits your schedule and your weather tolerance, you load the container.
Correct.
Or you can bring some beefy men in there to do that for a small price, you know, or an equitable price, and you can help with referring labor as well. Is that correct? Okay. Yeah. All right. This is Ed Sickmund with My Way Mobile Storage. But the website, friends, to visit Ed and his business is www.mywaystorage.com. And the way to reach Ed on his personal phone number, and you're a brave man, 412-427-5719. That's 412-427-5719.
I mean, this is nationwide, right?
We're worldwide. And that's a funny little story, because in my prior years, as many of our listeners know, I was in the guitar business. And one of the catchphrases of Boogie Street was, you know, nationwide. And then we became worldwide. Yes, and then everything went off the rails crazy. It was amazing. But hey, this humble show is right here in La China Drapery and Blinds Factory Studio every Saturday from 10 to noon on Beaver County Radio. So, hey, if we're going to launch worldwide from here, Matt, bring it on.
Bring it on.
The power of Facebook Live, even with our funny little goggles. I mean, this is, you know, the funny thing was, on the way to the show today, friends, I recorded a video safely, I might add. Just a 1-minute preview of Ed's visit and our organizational specialist visit. Plus, it was the first show of the year. And I had everything figured out. I said, okay, when I walk in, I'm going to put this here, and this here. I'm going to wait for Ed. I'm going to da-da-da-da-da. And I come in here, and nothing happens to plan. Why is that?
I don't know.
It's easy for you to sit on the other side and say, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So, and this is the first show of 2018. And we've had a tremendous 2016, 2017, and this year is going to be phenomenal for us, and we hope it's going to be phenomenal for you too. And I get here, it's a mad scramble. You know, it's like, is there going to be one day where I walk in and I go, here I am, flick a switch and just go?
Probably not for a while.
Am I asking too much? I am. And here I am complaining here on radio, and I have nothing to complain about. Ed, getting back to mobile storage here, and how one of my clients used it too, was why it was so essential for what you did was they were a collector, okay? they collected a bunch of antiques. Now granted, when you say antique dealer, it can mean a lot of different things.
Sure.
But this was furniture antiques. And when I went in to talk to them about listing their home, it was obvious that,
each room had a ton of stuff in it.
A ton.
They
So
were collectors.
Yes, they were. And the concern they had was they were, Eric, we can go to self-storage. You can go we can do U-Haul. We've priced it all out.
Right.
But the problem we have is we're not real crazy about it being November. And, by the time we're ready to list, it might be January. And we're going to, if we store something in a cold storage, the furniture, it might not be best for the furniture. So with your solution, being it was a climate-controlled storage facility was phenomenal for them. That hands down. So for those, case in point, I'm a guitar guy. Got a couple of guitars laying around the house. So if you're a collector of an instrument, you don't want that sitting in
or
artwork, instruments, antiques. It could be a lot of different things, and that's where that climate-controlled mobile facility that the container's taken to by Ed's company and stored for you professionally is a huge, huge bonus. This is not getting a U-Haul. It's not loading a U-Haul, then letting the U-Haul sit out while the meter's running for a couple of days in front of your home before it goes. This is a better, more cost-effective, more efficient, more professional, and a safer solution for your belongings. And that's My Way Mobile Storage, and at www.mywaystorage.com. And again, that's Ed at 412-427-5719.
So, Eric, if they do visit the website, there's a great YouTube video on there that shows them how things work with our delivery and warehouse team making deliveries and putting them back in the warehouse.
I've watched it. So in that video, it'll encompass exactly what the operation is. Very, very clean, very short, concise, right to the point. Well done, by the way. Thanks, well done. Website's very well done. The other thing, too, I want Ed to talk about a little bit as well is, I'm sure Ed feels my frustration as a sole proprietor. One of his operation being different than mine naturally, but we're in the real estate sphere, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. I get it constantly thrown at me, and one of the jobs that I have is to kind of realign people's thinking by providing the facts and so forth. And, there's a couple different competitors Ed has out there, and, we're not going to talk about them. That's not what we do here, but I hear a lot of different scenarios. I hear a lot of pricing thrown around. Friends, don't assume that mobile storage is expensive. Don't assume that what you hear so-and-so is paying for this. I guess what I'm saying to you is come right to the source. Come right to the source. Come to Ed Sickmund at My Way Storage first. He is the answer. The price is definitely more competitive. I know that for a fact. And his service is top-notch. So if you, like anything else, if you hear that someone had a bad experience with mobile storage, because I've heard that on a couple occasions, never from you folks. No, I wouldn't have you on the show.
Right.
But don't worry in any capacity.
Sure.
That's a stigma with the entire industry, and that's what I want you to address for a second.
Well, I can tell you one thing, that the pricing, you're paying for the storage space that you need, which is one of the keys, because the homeowner or business will pack by room.
Correct.
And so if you, a lot of the competitors have larger units out there. A lot of times the clients don't need that much space. And as the unit is being transported with these other companies, it acts like a popcorn machine inside where everything's bouncing around.
Correct.
Whereas with our units, you're using up every square inch inside that unit, and by packing it tightly, you're being not only efficient, but you're being very cost effective because you're only renting the space you need.
Yes, very important point, friends. And I would venture to say, too, on the logic basis, when it's being transported, it's safer.
Yes,
your belongings
without any question.
You're in a safer environment.
Right.
Because it does not bounce around like popcorn. Right. And if you've ever done a U-Haul move, friends, you probably know how that works. You rent a U-Haul truck, and let's face it, we always rent one larger than we really need because we're being sold at the counter. And typically as well, at times, we end up being we end up purchasing more than we need. And if you don't load a U-Haul correctly, let's face it, I'm not a professional. Right. And I've loaded U-Hauls where I've driven down the road and I hear things swaying and moving and
right.
yeah, so
Keeping your fingers crossed.
yes, keep my fingers crossed.
And when you open up that door, you don't want anything to jump out at you.
Which that has happened as well. Yeah. That has happened as well. So leave it to the professionals. And again, that's My Way Mobile Storage. That's mywaystorage.com. And this is Mr. Ed Sickmund at 412-427-5719. Do we have to go to break?
Hey, you want to?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
What is up with this guy's music today?
Jamming.
He's jamming.
Jamming.
Thank you, Matt. Friends, you're listening to the Eric McKenna Show every Saturday from 10 to noon. Having more fun than the law allows. Strangely. But I'll be back with my guest, Ed Sickmund, with My Way Mobile Storage and producer and co-host extraordinaire, Mr. Matt Durzik. This is Eric McKenna, and hang in there. Right back.
Happy New Year from the Skurlick family and staff at Roberts Roadside Inn in Bridgewater.
Everybody's talking about Roberts Roadside Inn, 'cause Beaver County's walking at Roberts Roadside Inn.
Roberts' famous wings are only 50 cents on Wednesday from 6 to 9, and catch the black and gold on their big screens and enjoy Roberts' winning lineup of wings, fish, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and dinners. Enjoy happy hour weekdays for 4 to 6, and Roberts serves those high-quality lunch specials at low prices. Stay warm as Roberts Sports Patio is a cozy fireplace and furnace for your winter party. Call 724-775-0200.
Talks about Roberts Roadside Inn, 'cause Beaver County rocks at Roberts Roadside Inn. Come on down to Roberts Roadside. Beaver County's rocking tonight.
WBVP and WNBA invite you to tune in to Sounds of Faith. Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 as WBVP and WNBA present Sounds of Faith, a mix of the best sacred music of all time. Sounds of Faith is brought to you by Crawford Tire and Beaver, City Rescue Mission, MRS Physical Therapy, Lutheran Senior Life, William Murphy Funeral Home Incorporated, and Rome Monument and Inspirational Gifts. Sounds of Faith, uplifting, relaxing, and inspiring radio. Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 on WBVP and WNBA.
WBVP, WNBA.
Yeah, we back on? Oh, hey, we are back on.
Yes.
Friends, thank you for rejoining us here on the Eric McKenna Show every Saturday from 10 to noon. Real estate talk and more. I am a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors out of Swickley and Robinson Township, servicing Allegheny, Butler, Washington, and, of course, the great county of Beaver. Many of you have utilized my services over the past 18 months that I've been on the air here, and I will be forever grateful. And even more importantly than that, I've met so many more of you and developed so many friendships because of this humble radio show that would not go without my good friend, Mr. Matt Durzik, across the board.
Dang it.
I have to give you a little tip of the hat there, tip of the A's hat to you, So, but if I can be of help to you, I want to stress whether you're buying or selling, whether there's a family member that's potentially buying or selling, and you have not enlisted a realtor, or if you're at the very infancy of the process, I'd like to speak with you. I vehemently believe that the sooner you speak to a realtor, even in the thought process, the better off you will be, even if you're not ready for quite a while. You can indeed enlist a realtor, and I would love the opportunity to speak with you about my practice and my philosophies on real estate. I got some very innovative things we do when we sell a home. I pay for advertising on social media, effective advertising, all at my cost. And you can reach me directly at 412-613-4643. 4466. Again, that's 412-613-4466.
Were you about to stumble over your own number?
Yes, I was. But because I almost did that, I'll read it again. 412-613-4466. Call or text me anytime, friends. Or visit me at calleric.com. That is the lead sponsor of this here radio program, along with Hope Roofing. That's Hamilton Hope with Hope Roofing. 25 years of experience in the Valley. Can't go to a better roofer than Hamilton. 412-264-7598. And I say that because I've used him personally, and he's worked with many of my buyers and sellers. Hope Roofing, another lead sponsor of this show. Coming up in the second segment here, which we call affectionately on the Eric McKenna Show, the Power Hour.
Power Hour.
We're going to be joined by another very astute person. So I'm very humbled today to have, people of much broader intellect than myself on the show, which I guess we could probably go outside and find those people too, right outside the front door. I love being self-effacing, right? We're gonna have Miss Sandra Lane on the show, and Sandra is going to be talking to us for the hour about organization, personal business, the whole thing, and she's going to talk about being organized. Now, for those who know me, the fact that I brought a professional certified organizer on this show is insane because if anyone needs it, it's me. Mm-hmm. But we're also going to talk in depth with Sandra right along here, and Ed's going to remain online with us as well. And they're also going to talk about a great event that's happening. And I'm going to let Sandra talk about it. It's coming up on January 11th. And I'll let you know it's from 8 a.m. to 12:30. So it's not a full day. It's like a good productive morning.
Yes.
And for realtors, getting a full productive morning oftentimes, that's tough.
Right.
Because none of us get up before 10. So last night it was a joke. It was a joke.
Like, what do I do every day of my life?
So Sandra was listening to the show on the way in, and probably the way the show was going, becoming horrified. But she has arrived. She is a trooper. She made it. She rang the doorbell, and when Matt graciously let her in, and she's going to be on the show. But Sandra, thank you so much for coming today. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to talking with you.
There you go. And we're going to get into her background and this event and so forth and why. I'll let her describe that because everything you're going to talk about, Sandra, I'm sure are things that I know I need to do in my life, and I don't do them. So, especially as a small business owner, entrepreneur, realtor, and all that, and even a dad in general. All those things that need to be a little more tidy and shipshape and organized. We're going to talk about that a little bit, right?
Sure. We can all use a little help.
Yes, we can. Oh, Matt and I can use a lot of help. So there you are. I do want to repeat, and not repeat myself, but I do want to stress the quality of the advertising support we have on this show because without these great people, this show does not happen. And we're going to be a very full next hour, so we're going to just do a little housekeeping here. Our show is sponsored by CallEric.com and Hope Roofing, also by our good friends at Frags Tags for all your title, notary, and transfer needs in downtown Coraopolis. You can reach Jonathan and Michelle at Frags Tags at 412-264-3018. 412-264-3018, and you tell them Eric McKenna sent you. Of course, our go-to mortgage agent, Miss Leslie Raymond with Union Home Mortgage, handling new mortgage origination and refinancing. So if you're thinking about refinancing, Leslie is a great option for you. 412-719-5673. That's 412-719-5673. Leslie Raymond with Union Home Mortgage, NMLS. Stumbled right over that, didn't I?
Take two.
Take two. NMLS 138287 and PA license number 29666. Our good friends at Division 9 Home Inspection. That's Mr. Matt Pia and Steve Kowalik, my go-to home inspector. Great guys. If you want an owner's manual to your house or you want someone to come in and give you an evaluation of your home with no strings attached, that's right, Matt or Steve. 412-350-8592. Again, 412-350-8592. That's division, the number 9.com. And, of course, Diamond Dave Bishop with Big Bang Comics and Collectibles in the heart of Swickley, a cornucopia of fun. That sounds kind of corny, doesn't it? I mean, I came up with that. That place is too cool for that.
Well, I mean, you already came up with it like weeks ago.
I know. I got to
get your inner nerd out.
The inner nerd is there, yeah. Get your inner nerd out at Big Bang Comics and Collectibles on Broad Street in Swickley, right across the street from my brokerage, for that matter. So you can spend, I spend a lot of time there. 412-259-8742. Again, 412-259-8742. Ask for Diamond Dave Bishop, and Big Bang Batman as well is there.
Yes.
Yes, and look them up on Facebook at Big Bang Comics. Of course, Rad Productions and Portrait Photography and photo booth rentals. That's Mr. Bob Donnell at 412-269-0592. Again, 412-269-0592. Photo booth rentals for any party, family, social, business. I've seen these photo booths and rentals in action. I've used Bob's service. Phenomenal good time. You want an icebreaker, get a photo booth rental for your party. Again, 412-269-0592, or look them up on Facebook at RAD Productions. That's R-A-D Productions on Facebook. And, of course, Hope Roofing. Mr. Hamilton Hope, our go-to roofer in the Valley for 25 solid years. Our go-to roofer, and we suggest should be your go-to roofer as well. 412-264-7598. 412-264-7598. That's hoperoofingandgutters.com. And with that, I think we're about ready for the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Just about. Yeah.
All right, so let me see if I can just lay this tagline right out for you. Mr. Amateur Radio Guy. You want me to
Go
do that?
for it.
All right, okay. Friends, you're listening to the Eric McKenna Show here on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP in Chippewa and Beaver Falls, and 1460 WMBA in Ambridge and Moon Township.
Yeah.
Now it's time for...
Well, not yet.
You see what we did? I'm trying. Do I have to wait for the music, or what's the?
Well, no, it's not that. It's just that I'm waiting for the time. That's what I mean. If the time were here,
so wait a second. What clock is actually valid here?
Probably this one, because this one is, the one that you can't actually.
So what
see.
they do, friends, is they actually give me a clock that's not true to radio time.
It's cold, okay? Things happen.
And I worked all week on that.
You did it right. You did well. I'll give you credit for that.
Pardon me?
You did well.
Didn't hear that. You're going to give what? You're going to give me credit?
Yeah.
Wow. I got a compliment out of Matt Durzik.
Hey, new year, new me.
All right, well, since I have time, I'll do it again. Friends, you're listening to the Eric McKenna Show here on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WM. 1230 W.
You want to try that one more time?
Yes. You're listening to the air. Okay, I'll say my name as many times as you'd like me to.
I know that.
I know. This is the Eric McKenna Show here on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. That's wrong, isn't it? This is the Eric McKenna Show on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP in Chippewa and Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA in Ambridge and Moon Township. And now, friends, it's time for Town Hall News.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump is at the Camp David presidential retreat this weekend, hosting Republican congressional leaders and discussing his infrastructure plans.
President Trump is hosting House Speaker Paul Ryan, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and other key Republicans to map out the GOP's 2018 agenda, which includes rebuilding the nation's infrastructure. During the presidential campaign, Mr. Trump promised a $1 trillion infrastructure bill, and he said it was one of his top priorities. Now, as he outlines the contours of that plan, he has to sell it to Congress, where priorities may not be in sync. The Senate Majority Leader, for example, seems to be on board, but the House Speaker has placed a higher priority on welfare and entitlement reforms. Linda Kenyon at the White House.
Frigid temperatures, some that could feel as cold as minus 30 degrees, plaguing parts of the East Coast. Brooklyn resident Eddie Cullen not happy with the way the city's been plowing up the snow.
Like the bus stops. Let's figure the bus stops. Sanitation, no cars parked there. So when they pass by with the shovels or whatever, clean the whole thing out. Why make a mountain of snow on top of the bus stop? It doesn't make sense.
The release of an explosive book about President Trump has blown open a GOP feud.
Steve Bannon helped put him in the White House, but the Trump administration says the president's furious with his former chief strategist over comments in the book Fire and Fury inside the Trump White House, where Bannon questions the president's competence.
One of the most important things that you can do when you're working in any capacity, but especially in politics, is to be loyal.
White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders on Fox News Channel's Fox and Friends. The president's now describing him as sloppy Steve Bannon. Much of Bannon's political brand relies on being perceived as a Trump ally. Supporters worry that's permanently gone.
That is correspondent Sagar Magadi. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-500-5588. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-500-5588 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-500-5588 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-500-5588.
The House Intelligence Committee has finally struck a deal to get access to documents related to the removal of some agents who were part of Robert Mueller's Russia probe.
Committee Chair Devin Nunes announcing the FBI has agreed to turn over documents related to the dismissal of Peter Strzok, who was removed from the investigation for sending anti-Trump text messages. The agreement also gives the committee access to some 9,500 text messages exchanged between Strzok and his colleague Lisa Page.
That's Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines. A Jersey City police lieutenant on his way to work was struck and killed on the New Jersey Turnpike this week.
Lieutenant Robitou was involved in the minor motor vehicle accident with a DHL truck. He was a victim in a motor vehicle accident, and he got out of his car to assist the other driver.
Jersey City Police Department Chief Michael Kelly says the passing motorist did stop to help police. More details at townhall.com. A Mexican man acquitted of murder in the shooting death of a San Francisco woman that sparked a national immigration debate was sentenced on Friday to time served for illegal gun possession.
We agree with the ruling in this particular part of the case. We support the judge. We believe that he ruled appropriately as to the possession of the firearm.
The San Francisco District Attorney George Gascon. Spectrum Brands is looking for a buyer for its batteries and appliances businesses.
The consumer products company, which makes Rayovac and Kwikset, wants to concentrate on its 4 remaining businesses. They include hardware and home improvement, global auto care, global pet supplies, and home and garden. Executive Chairman David Mora says selling the businesses will allow Spectrum Brands Holdings, based in Middleton, Wisconsin, to lower debt, buy back shares, and make some acquisitions.
That's correspondent Jeremy House reporting. Mora says the company is in active talks with several potential buyers. More on these stories can be found at townhall.com.
724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888.
Those are the Beaver County radio numbers and probably the most famous in all of Beaver County.
Okay.
Some power for the power hour.
Power for the power. Just a little Todd Rundgren.
Yeah.
And then that song turns completely different. Goes sideways.
Something like that.
Yeah. Matt Durzik behind the big board, my adopted co-host and the producer extraordinaire, handling the musical duties today as well.
Always.
Yes, as always. This is the Eric McKenna Show, and yes, I am your humble host here every week from 10 to noon on Beaver County Radio, talking real estate and more. And today we're talking with two real estate sphere professionals. We just concluded with Mr. Ed Sickmund with My Way Mobile Storage, and Ed's going to be heading out to take care of some business. And before he leaves, he had just wanted to say goodbye. That's why we're carrying Ed into the next hour here, because we're gracious people, and Ed's a nice guy. So that's what we're doing.
I appreciate that, Eric and Matt. Great job with the goggles and and everything that kept me right on track here today. But I did want to mention one more thing regarding our pricing before I take off.
Absolutely.
And if the client overestimates the number of containers they would need because they're packing by room, and they're very efficient at doing their packing, and they also get rid of a few items that Sandra may help you,
Amen.
find a home for them.
Amen.
We actually give credit back for any containers that are not used in the process.
How about that, friends?
So even though we would deliver the containers, if you, let's say our truck holds 4 containers and you end up only using 3, that 4th container, we would refund it if it wasn't used. So I just wanted to make sure our listeners understood that. And again, that's an advantage of dealing with My Way Mobile Storage.
Without question. I mean, try asking for a refund because you overpurchased a rental truck. And most of us do, right?
Right.
All right. Ed,
So
I appreciate
your time.
Absolutely. That's Ed Sickmund with My Way Mobile Storage. You can reach Ed. I have his phone number. I'm not committed.
412-427-5719.
And that's mywaystorage.com. Thank you, sir. Always good seeing you. Always good seeing you. And now we're going to bring in... why do I get nervous, Sandra? Because I'm so disorganized.
No, there's no judgment here.
I know. We're in a judgment-free zone. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Thank goodness. I mean, and it's funny. I was told years ago that as I got a little older, a little longer in the tooth, that I would become more organized as I got older. And that's not happened. So let's talk organization.
Sure.
Friends, this is Sandra Lane. Now, I'm going to read your bio, and don't be embarrassed, but I'm going to read this because I think it's very impressive. No, honestly, it is. You were born in the Garden State of New Jersey. Is that correct?
That is.
But you've been a Pittsburgh resident for the last 25 years, and 19 of those right in Sewickley, my broker's hometown. Very nice place, I might add. Sandra is a board-certified professional organizer, a voluntary distinction within the organizing industry. We can talk about that. Her company, Organization Lane, helps individuals and businesses clear out clutter and become better managers of their time and their space. She loves what she does. I'm sure you do, because I can see the passion there. And because of her work, helps people live and work with more peace and productivity. So before I even go on to the rest of that, talk to me about that.
Yes. So when I first started this business, I would have to say it was a bit of a hobby. And it's turned into a ministry because of the way people's lives change on the work that we do together.
That's awesome.
They release these burdens, these shackles that stop them from doing so many things because it just gets in their way of being productive. And when we do some hand-holding and some partner work together, and that stuff... And that comes in lots of forms, not just physical things, but also some of the intangibles like, a crowded calendar and, a workflow process in your office.
Indeed.
It really releases them of this weight that they've been carrying. And suddenly they can do things they didn't used to do before. They're faster. They're more productive.
And I can speak to this because, oh my, this is going to really hit home for me. So this is going to be good. This hour's going to be very good. I will tell you, I was blessed with, personally, and I've shared this before, I never really collected anything. And I was in the guitar business for a long time, but never really collected things. And I was never attached to anything. So I think in this process, working with you would be a little easier for me because I'm really not attached to any inanimate object. But that doesn't mean that I don't have a lot of inanimate objects around me. So, but I can imagine at times too, it's a tough decision for a lot of people. I mean, I've read some organizational things over the years, and decluttering or getting organized can really require you to take inventory and stock and what things mean to you. Is that part of the process?
Absolutely. There are lots of reasons why people hang on to stuff.
Okay.
It could be, they call it situational clutter.
Okay.
This is clutter that because of a particular situation or circumstance in your life, suddenly you've been inundated with this clutter. And I imagine you might see this even in your work.
Sure.
Someone dies, and suddenly someone else, the children, might have to
all the time
kind of consume the estate of everything that this person had that was in their life, their parent, maybe
Certainly.
multiple parents, and suddenly a child leaves to go away to college, and all of their things, or comes back from college, and now all of their things are, landed in their lap. Right?
Indeed.
They might get a new person moving into the house that they didn't expect, like maybe suddenly they're caregiving for someone else.
Sure.
So they've acquired their things. So it can happen really easily in terms of a situation. Then there's some sentimentality that comes with a lot of things, that ugly Christmas sweater that Aunt Judy might have given you. Aunt Judy's not with us anymore, so sometimes we'll think of it as a memory of Aunt Judy and we'll hang on to it.
How prevalent is that in what you find? Is that
Very.
I would think so, too.
Very.
Yeah, and we put some kind of intrinsic value on our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guilty. I had, I'm sure you see this, I've had many the big Tupperware style containers full of memories that I just started stacking, like in the garage, knowing I probably won't go through them for years. And I'm not sure what value this stuff really was going to hold, but it was hard to part with it. Does that make any sense?
It does, absolutely. But what I like to talk through, and there is a little bit of, pseudo therapy that's involved here when you work with a client. There's huge amount of trust that comes between a client and an organizer, which is why I encourage people that are looking for an organizer to meet with, a few, because it's a connection, much like your business. You want to connect with someone who's going to sell your house. You want to connect with someone you're going to let into your house to touch your things and talk about your things. So sometimes people will talk through why they've acquired this, and that's part of the process of letting it go. But oftentimes I will point out to folks, you've got all these bins tucked away with all these what you call mementos, but are you really honoring those mementos by having them collect dust in a garage? Is that really the best way to honor the person, Aunt Judy, who gave you that sweater?
That's a very good point. Very good point.
Is that really, are you really doing that person any service by hanging on to it? So we kind of dig a little deeper as to why they're hanging on to it. And can we do something else that maybe releases you of this thing and honor that thing in a different way? And there are lots of ways. There are lots of ways to do that.
Okay.
We can take pictures of it and digitize it. We can create an album of some of these things. And,
as opposed to a whole box full.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, particularly if folks are really struggling and need to create space. If they are weighed down and boxed in by the stuff, and their goal is to create more space, maybe get a room, put their car in the garage, whatever the case may be.
I see. I can't take, I'm not that bad, but I do see this a lot, genuinely a lot.
Yeah, so when you have that as your motivation, we keep trying to hone in on that point when it comes to making our decisions together.
And I think it's great what you do is, there is some therapy there, there's no question, but I like the fact that you work with individuals as well as businesses. That's a pretty broad base there. Because in my mind I have my business disorganization, and in my other mind I have my home disorganization, but are they interconnected to a degree for entrepreneurs, would you say, oftentimes? Or because we are working for ourselves and oftentimes working at our office and at home, and it's a blur for me sometimes.
Right.
And, my history was I was in the guitar business for a long time, and I was a perpetual motion machine. So there was inventory, and what was mine, what was inventory, what was mine was inventory. They blurred. And then all the ancillary things about the business started to creep into my home, and it was hard. It was hard. I'm sure for entrepreneurs it's even harder because the lines get blurred.
Absolutely. There is some overlap, because if you've got some systems that are not running well in your home, it will absolutely bleed over into your work life.
Yes, it did. This is going to be fascinating. This is Sandra Lane. She is a board-certified professional organizer. Her company is I like the name, Organization Lane. I like that a lot. And we're talking to here on the Eric McKenna Show. Matt, I got a couple more minutes here.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. You got Matt's attention, and to get Matt's attention, that's pretty darn good. Talk to me a little bit more how our audience can get in touch with you.
Sure.
If they want your services.
Sure. So I have a few ways that people can connect.
Yes.
I have a website, organizationlane.com.
Okay.
And my cell phone number is 412-841-7169. I also have a Facebook page, Organization Lane, and a LinkedIn account by my personal name, Sandra Lane, and a Pinterest page.
Pinterest, I haven't not on there yet. I need to go there. I'm told realtors must be on there.
Don't.
Is it addicting?
Yeah, it is. It's just another black hole. Just it's Facebook
Social media black hole.
It's Facebook on steroids. You could just really go down a black hole. And from a time perspective, don't go there.
Okay. Well, I know that that's a lot of design ideas that my clients, both buyers and sellers, get on Pinterest, and they forward them to me. So I know. Yes, indeed. This is Sandra Lane, a board-certified professional organizer and the owner of Organization Lane. She is a Swickley resident, but a long time Swickley resident. 19 years, is that right?
That's right.
19 years.
That's right.
Before we go to break, let me ask you this. Working with people that really that have dire situations. The word hoarding gets thrown a lot because of the TV shows and all that stuff. I don't know what hoarding is, but when you go into an environment where you obviously this person needs a lot of help. What tends to be the most difficult challenge that you have to get? Is it getting into real? I mean, you're there, so someone has jogged either their conscience or so you've gotten there. I guess that's half the battle, getting you there. But what typically is the hardest thing to get them to overcome to start the process? Would you say?
Sure. So anybody that calls, I give them lots of praise for even having the courage to call, because for some folks, it is embarrassing. And it is a challenge on many levels. So the fact that they've even made the phone call is a step in the right direction, that they're interested in talking to someone. And then if they're interested in taking that next step and having that person come to their house, that's another revealing moment for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sure.
And the difference between just the average Joe and someone who hoards would most likely not make the phone call.
I would think so. Yeah,
it would be someone else.
They got to
phone call.
They got to that point where, let's face it, they got to that point on their own, and they're out of denial. They stayed in that circumstance.
Right. Hoarding, I think, is a term that is used very loosely in this country. We use it. I hoard CDs and I hoard my, food. And,
sure.
It's overused, and it's a disservice to the people who are in that situation. There are organizers in our NAPO chapter, which I know we'll talk about later, that are specialists in hoarding, and I admire the work that they do very much, because it requires a completely different skill set than I have, and a patience level that I do not have, and it requires a whole team of people to work with folks that are in that situation. But for those regular folks who are just a little disorganized and have just got too much stuff, I am certainly the person that I would love to work with them. And once we do an assessment, that usually involves, some more conversation and getting a better understanding of the struggles that they're having, get an understanding of what vision they have for the space that might be cluttered or is not working for them.
Sure.
So there's a lot of listening, a lot of asking questions.
Okay.
And then, comfort level and trust
absolutely
starts to grow there.
And that's always
big. And then you talk about next steps and, setting up appointments to actually work side by side together.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Matt, we have our first break here?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. This is fascinating. I'd like to have you back on the show again, too.
Okay.
Because I think we could really dive into this, and I'm sure our listening audience here at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888, you're welcome to call. Certainly, this is Sandra Lane with Organization Lane, a certified organizer, friends. This is good stuff. This is the Eric McKenna Show, and we'll be right back. Hi, friends. This is RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna, host of the weekly Eric McKenna Show right here on WBVP and WMBA. I really hope you're enjoying today's show. Friends, I can be your personal realtor. That's right. I'm currently accepting new clients right here in Beaver County, and I'd be honored to be your personal realtor. So if you're ready to buy or sell your home, let's get together and let me put my innovative marketing to work for you. And I promise you, I'll be there every step of the way. So if you like my show, hire me as your personal realtor. Call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. You can also email me at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. And, of course, please visit my website. You guessed it, calleric.com. I just love it when my listeners become clients. So, friends, let me be your personal realtor.
The back-to-back Stanley Cup champions are on Beaver County Radio.
Here's Cole, might have a chance. Mr. Score, he's got it! Ian Cole gives the Penguins a 1-0 lead. No, tell your ma, tell your pa. We're going to send him back to Arkansas.
Follow the Penguins all season long with local coverage presented by Rochester Manor and Villa, Roberts Roadside Inn, St. Barnabas Beaver Meadows Apart from the Ordinary, Suman Automotive, and Beaver County Radio, WBVP, and WMBA.
Okay, and welcome back to the Eric McKenna Show here on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA every Saturday from 10 to noon. Thank you for making us a part of your Saturday, both on Facebook Live and, of course, the wide area coverage of Beaver County Radio.
Yes.
We had a good show today. Mr. Ed
Yes,
Sickmund.
absolutely, we
Ed,
are.
Mr. Ed, yeah. See, Matt's enthusiastic. When Matt gets enthusiastic, we're doing, if I'm over here pontificating for 2 hours and Matt's eyebrows start to get a little lower. So, but today, we're into it. Mr. Ed Sickmund from My Way Mobile Storage was here for his second jaunt on the Eric McKenna Show, and it was wonderful. And we have today Miss Sandra Lane. That's right. She has a phenomenal company called Organization Lane. And Sandra is a board-certified professional organizer. And we're talking about getting your stuff together and hopefully some of that stuff out the door. Sandra, but before we get back into the work you do with your company, you have an event that is going on here on January 11th, and that was going to be a big part of our show today. So before I take you in a different direction, let's talk a little bit about this event if we can.
Sure. So mind if I give you a little backstory?
Please do.
The host
Absolutely.
for this event is NAPO, N-A-P-O.
Right.
And that stands for the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals.
Okay.
And this is a national association of professional organizers that is made up of 3,500 of us, 31 chapters, and there's a Pittsburgh chapter right here.
Wow. Okay.
We meet right here.
Okay.
And the Pittsburgh chapter has 27 professional organizers.
There's 27 of your cohorts out there doing this kind of work.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. There is a real need for this.
Oh, there's no question.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no question.
The NAPO Pittsburgh chapter is hosting this wonderful event because typically in January, people are, have got getting organized on their resolution list.
Yes, we are.
Yes. And this event is a great way
Yes,
to
we are.
support, encourage, and motivate people to do just that. So it is going to be on January 11, and it is at the Embassy Suites in your neck of the woods at Sherrington Parkway. It'll probably be one of the last few events there because I understand that they're closing.
It's going bye-byes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's a shame. It's a nice hotel.
It is a nice hotel, but you know what? It's going to be a great facility for what its intended
Absolutely.
upcoming use will be.
Absolutely. So it's January 11th.
January 11th. It starts at 8 a.m. and it goes till 12:30. So it's just half of your day.
Sure.
And it is the theme of this. It's a Get Organized Symposium, and the theme is the art of letting go. So we're obviously going to be talking about
That is an art.
the subject of letting go. It is. And it begins with breakfast, and then we have a keynote speaker. His name is James Lott Jr. He's a former Pittsburgher that is now on the West Coast that is visiting in the area. He has some wonderful accomplishments to his name as well, incling a radio show called the Super Organizer Show, SOS. So he's
the antithesis of what this is.
I would say so.
So he is going to be joining us for some keynote remarks. And then we have two Ask the Organizer panels. These are panelists are going to be made up of our organizers from our chapter answering the audience's questions.
Great. So it's very participatory.
They can just bring it on, any challenges that they're facing, any, thoughts in terms of resolutions that they want to get started. They've got more than one organizer to ask
That's awesome.
their questions.
That's awesome.
We're going to have vendors there, including My Way Mobile Storage. In fact,
Going to be there
Ed,
as well, I believe.
yes, I have to give a shout out to Ed on numerous remarks, but he is the marketing director for our chapter, and
You couldn't have picked a better guy.
I know he was really instrumental in pulling this whole event together.
Awesome.
So he is fantastic, and so Ed is one of the many vendors we have. We have over 20 this year, which is a step up from, it's growing from year to year. This is our second annual.
This is the second one. Okay.
Yes, we have some cleaning services like domestics concierge, and then we have disaster cleaning with SteriClean and Service Master. We have estate sale folks such as Everything But the House and Auction Your Possessions. And we have historical document storage like forever.com and
Right.
Unlock Your History.
Right.
Movers are going to be there. So we have got, how can I forget? The Closet Factory, Tailored Living. Closet systems are a big part. IKEA will be there as well. So we've got storage, closets, cleaning, moving, anything in terms of needing a resource when it comes to organizing, downsizing, reaching those resolutions.
Absolutely.
We are your source. This is the place. And then the whole day you're going to have plenty of time to visit with all those vendors. And then the whole day is going to end with raffle prizes.
Oh, wow. Who doesn't
Yeah.
like prizes?
Yeah.
So after they tell you how disorganized you are,
No.
you need
Yeah,
to get your stuff together.
That is
No.
not
Here's some
quite
more.
right.
Here's some more stuff.
No. We're kidding. We're kidding, naturally.
Yes.
Wow. See, this is
Good morning.
it
And
is-
it's
that's
only
a-
$15.
That's a full morning.
Did
That's-
I say that? It's only $15.
It's a full morning.
Yeah,
That's
until
a full
January
morning.
8th. We have an early bird special that goes until Monday. So if folks want to register at that early bird price, they go to the NAPO website, which is NAPO Pittsburgh, NAPO Pittsburgh.org. They click on the events page, and they'll see annual symposium, and they can register right there. After Monday, the price goes up to $25.
Still reasonable.
Yes.
If you're undecided, you
deal.
can't absolutely for that.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
And I like the fact that it's participatory, and I like the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you're going to be able to ask because, look, this is what tell me if you think I'm crazy, but I am not.
You don't have to.
Boy, I really walked into that one.
Oh, absolutely
Okay,
you did.
so yes, I did. This whole cluttered desk thing, you see these little signs. Cluttered desk is a sign of genius. Well, when my desk is cluttered, I get anxiety. And I'm not OCD, but I don't find, I feel like my attention is diverted to different things if I'm not in a clean desk environment, which I rarely am. But when I take the time to declutter and organize and things are, and probably not, I need to part with a lot of these things, but when they're in places then out of sight, so to speak, I'm better. I'm more productive. Does that make any sense, or is it just in my head?
No. You are right on point. You're absolutely on point. All of that stuff that's filling your desk is a visual distraction. And distractions, I'm sure you've seen on other levels, just gets in the way of being productive.
Okay. Do you talk about even like how to organize your desktop? I mean, because with me doing a lot of social media advertising, I did it with the guitar business. I've done it with my realtor practice. It's been phenomenal. I like it. I like it too much because I feel like I'm constantly tethered, if it makes any sense. And being a realtor, I'm already tethered with phones and text messages that are business related. So there's that line. I want to continue the social media and be informative and also fun, but I try to then to walk it back and then say, okay, that's done now. I have to go work. And I can see where the lines get blurred a lot. And you go into a mall and I see my children's generation, their faces are staring into phones 24/7. So you have a tough job. No, I would think that's challenging. There's a lot of challenges to getting people to think and even if you worked at a 9-to-5 job and sat at a cube all day, and your employer permitted you to surf the web and have all that stuff, I can see where productivity social media has to be a huge hit to productivity.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I do a lecture, the Lunch and Learn for business offices, and one of the things we talk about is distractions and how it really does affect folks' productivity. And in terms of employees, they figure, well, it's not my bottom line. It's my employer's bottom line. Who cares? But
bad
you know
attitude.
what? Not only is that a bad attitude, but here's how I get them to think about how it affects their life.
Okay.
So when you're productive at work, you can get it done on time and you can make it to your kid's soccer game. That affects the quality of your life.
Amen.
When you are productive at work and it gets noticed, you have advancement opportunities and financial growth, and that affects the quality of your life.
It does. It does. There's no question.
One more. When you are productive at work, it reduces your stress levels, keeps you less anxious, and that is healthy for us.
Which might be the best of all three.
Right. And that affects the quality of your life. So being productive at work just doesn't affect the bottom line of your employer. It affects our quality of life. So it really does behoove us to pay some attention to how we can improve our productivity. And distractions is by far one of the biggest stumbling blocks that people get into because we think it's all in our phones. Okay, I will tell you right now, anything that has to do with a screen is probably the biggest culprit. Our phones, our computers, they are a part of our lives, so we just make the assumption that we need to still do what we normally need to do and deal with those distractions when that is a mistake.
That's a mistake I make all the time.
Yeah. If there's an on and off button, turn it off. It's as simple as that. And here's where some folks kind of suddenly are aghast at the idea of turning off their phone. I'm not going to ask you to turn it off all day while you're working. That's completely nonsensical. What I'm saying is that you turn it off in blocks of time so you can, in fact, do productive work.
I got it. And making that small change in the last 4 or 5 months has been phenomenal for me.
Yes.
And I need to do it more because it's tough. I will tell you, it's a tough. Until you get used to the habit of doing that, it's difficult. And I will tell you this. Help me understand this. I think we can condition our friends, family, and clients in a way that when they get instant answers, they expect it. So as a realtor, I've had to breathe and say, hey, I want to get back to my client immediately, but if I'm doing 3 different things for 3 different clients and another text come in, I can't effectively help any of them at one time.
That's right.
So trying to prioritize in that quiet time now has been big for me.
Right. Well, knowing when to turn off your phone is just one habit. It's a discipline.
Okay.
Not responding to texts immediately is another discipline. Not responding to emails. Lots of folks nowadays, particularly in corporate, they think emailing is like instant messaging. And you said it right from the top. If you create this culture that they expect you to respond within minutes, then they will continue to expect you to respond within minutes. And that's a really hard habit for some folks to break because they know that expectation is there and they don't want to let anybody down. When in fact, when it comes to an email, texting is a little different, but when it comes to email, 24 hours is a courteous response time. If it has a higher priority than that, then they should be picking up the phone and calling you or in fact texting you.
And I believe that is so true, what you just said. And we have, as a society, especially in the business world, we have turned that upside down.
We sure have.
We have turned that upside down. We have, and you're seeing the blur. Matt and I talked about this now. It's the blur of all the instant messaging apps kind of like blending in with this regular texting on your phone. Now that's kind of encroaching even the email where I'm seeing emojis in email now. Which is that's a little weird to me because I'm 52 and so I've been doing emails, some form of email since the early 90s or 94 maybe, and that evolution to see the lines blur is kind of disconcerting to me.
Right. Yeah. Email etiquette is another thing that I actually cover.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I started.
It's not an organizing topic because it's just another field that I'm also involved with. But yes, email etiquette, and I'm not labeling, but yeah, some of the newer generation that's coming up.
Yes. Sorry, Matt.
No. Listen, I understand because even for as young as I am. The whole emoji thing, I've never been a fan of them. I really haven't. I use ones that are if the human face can do that, I'm okay with it. But there's just some out there where it's just what's the need for this?
No, I get it. And I think in texting it's cute and all that good stuff. But when it starts to encroach, but I'm guilty. There are times I find myself, it's easier like to send a smile face on a text message than say, hey, thank you so much, see you soon. So we all fall into the trap.
Mm-hmm.
None of us are immune from it, regardless of our age. If we're using social media or communicating wirelessly like we all can fall into it. But do we have a phone call?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on the Eric McKenna Show.
Hey, it's Diamond Dave out of Big Bang Comics.
What's up, partner? How are you?
Oh, moving and grooving and freezing.
All right, buddy. What's on tap for Big Bang this week?
We are running, let me see, we'll run a millennial sale where nothing is on sale and it's all about me.
Whoa. Wait, can you repeat that, please? Because I don't want to. So, and of course, Matt Durzik has pulled his head away from the microphone. One more time, Diamond Dave.
Let's see, we're going to do 10% off on everything. We're freezing prices and lowering them all. Come in today and we'll give you 10% off on your entire transaction.
On the entire store, 10% off.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Today only.
Today only.
Today only.
I mean, and you don't even have to mention the show. You don't have to. Just tell them you want 10% off.
You have to mention the show for that one.
Oh, do you? All right, mention the
Yep.
Mention the show. If you can remember my name, all the better. The Eric McKenna Show.
You even have to spell your name right.
That's an easy one.
There's going to be a test.
Fair enough.
Test today.
10% off of Big Bang Comics and Collectibles in the heart of Swiftly. Thank you, my friend. Always good to hear from you. Stay warm.
You're welcome.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
All right, bye.
He's a hoot. That guy's going to go in that store. That you'd be impressed. That's right.
I know. I've been there.
Dave Bishop. Yeah. Dave Bishop. Good friend of
I've
mine.
been there.
Client, friend, long-time sponsor of the show. Good
I'm
guy.
still hurting.
The millennial, that millennial comment.
That seriously did caught me off guard.
That was awesome. Though.
I know
you
said it was awesome.
That was awesome. Okay, so, with me, and we talked off air a little bit. Oh, we have to go to break.
Well, if you finish your thought, we go to break.
Oh, okay. We were talking off air a little bit about I've been doing some reading on minimalism the last couple of years, and when I used to jog or walk briskly, I would do a lot of podcasts on minimalism, and that kind of stuff helped me. But I think it was the other extreme. That was almost a lifestyle, and to me, it didn't fit my philosophy. But I gathered bits and pieces of it, and we talked off air about getting rid of personal belongings, which I think is that's got to be a huge part of the process for somebody, to part with mementos.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a memento could be a piece of furniture, right?
It could.
Or an old piano that desperately
could.
needs to be taken out of there, right?
Well, it could. And that sometimes you could always find a solution for some of those larger objects. But I just want to get to your thought about the minimalism.
Sure.
Because I think everybody, I do a lecture called Have More with Less.
Okay.
And it is introducing the concepts of minimalism to folks. But what I like to preach is modified minimalism.
Oh, that's good. Modified minimalism.
Modified minimalism. And basically, it's the concepts of letting go, which is what minimalism is about. However, it's modifying it to what works for you. Because any step in the direction of letting go is a step in the right direction.
Gotcha. Yeah, indeed.
So don't let go of the idea of not, being a minimalist where you have this apartment that's completely stark white in a cot and a hot plate, and it's not going to look like that for everybody. We all have different lives. You have kids. You're going to have stuff in the garage and toys and things like that. Bikes.
Yes.
You find your version of it. That's modified minimalism.
I like that.
Thank you.
That's a very good concept. Okay, friends, we are listening to the very wise comments of Miss Sandra Lane with Organization Lane, her firm out of Swickley. And you can reach Sandra at
412-841-7169 or organizationlane.com.
There you go. And we're going to head to a break. And
yep.
I promise you we'll come right back. Love that music.
County Radio has reached another milestone as we tip off our 70th season of high school basketball. We'll bring you the jump balls to the final buzzers all season long, from the regular season through playoff frenzy in February, and of course, more madness in March. 7 decades of high schools on the hardwood, and the tradition continues on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA Sports.
Hi, friends. This is RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna, host of the weekly Eric McKenna Show, right here on WBVP and WMBA. I really hope you're enjoying today's show. Friends, I can be your personal realtor. That's right. I'm currently accepting new clients right here in Beaver County, and I'd be honored to be your personal realtor. So if you're ready to buy or sell your home, let's get together and let me put my innovative marketing to work for you. And I promise you, I'll be there every step of the way. So if you like my show, hire me as your personal realtor. Call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. You can also email me at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. And, of course, please visit my website. You guessed it, calleric.com. I just love it when my listeners become clients. So, friends, let me be your personal realtor.
Here for you 24 hours a day. Beaver County's hometown radio stations, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
All right, welcome back to the Eric McKenna Show, having more fun than the law allows here on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
This show's sort of taking on that Merv Griffin feel, where it's just like, hey, come on in.
You know what?
More chairs
well,
here,
the
Eric.
thing is, though, yeah, we do. And the thing is about this show that I love is it's a fly by the seat of our pants oftentimes, and people have embraced it. And, Jim and I have long conversations about that. I want to bring Jim Taddeo in for a second, Sandra, just to join us for 1 second here. We'll get back to Sandra Lane in a second. My very good friend, my client, a mentor of mine, okay, both in business philosophy and personal philosophy, and just a great guy, Mr. Jim Taddeo, who I leaked online and on air a couple of weeks ago was going to have a special announcement. Well, Jim's first show, Jim Taddeo Hometown, is airing today here on WBVP and WMBA at 12:30 to 1. So before Jim actually gets on
1:30
air,
actually.
What? 12:30 to 1:30?
Yes.
Yeah. What did I say? 1?
Yes.
Apologize. 12:30 to 1:30. See, I messed you up already, buddy.
No, it's just a matter of organization, isn't it?
It is. Laugh thereof. And Sandra's laughing because it's true. But welcome to the Beaver County Radio family. I can say that as an amateur member of the family. I'm thoroughly excited. The moment we met for the first time, I said, if there's ever a guy that belonged on radio, it was Jim Taddeo. And here we are 8 months later, and look what we're doing today.
That's right.
Yeah.
My privilege to be here.
Well,
I appreciate the opportunity to get in front of the people here of Beaver Valley. There's a lot to offer here, and we're going to talk about that on my program today. We'll get started. Hopefully we'll get some callers that call in, tell me some history about the area, what I'm missing, what I see, what I don't see. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I will tell the audience of this show, the Eric McKenna Show, that if you want a genuine person to connect with, a man of high character, and most importantly for the essence of this show that he's going to do, someone who cares about the community of Beaver, you couldn't find a better person than Jim Taddeo. So you are the personification of what you want to talk about. And I love that. There's a high level of integrity there. This is a man that really wants to hear from Beaver County. What makes the county great? What made the county great years ago, and what your ideas are for the future. Am I right?
Absolutely. Hey, this area, it's people, it's businesses, It's thrived. It's been through hardships, and yet it just continues to grow. There are so many new opportunities coming here. I get excited. I really do. And yet it's not a metro area. It's not an urban area. There's so much to do here for your family. There's so many opportunities. I almost burst with trying to focus on what I want to talk about.
I know, and Jim and I have had some conversations just on what he planned to do for the first show, and he's got so many ideas. I'm like, hey, Jim, it's about 6 months worth of material here, so don't try to cram it all in one show. But I am so looking forward to this. I feel there's a lot of love in me for this man here. What a great guy, and I feel tremendously proud to know you, sir. And I want to tell you point blank, congratulations, and really break a leg.
Thank you very much.
Metaphorically speaking.
Let's get your guest back in here.
Absolutely, but thank you, sir. That's Mr. Jim Taddeo, and you can listen to Jim Tadeo's Hometown, produced by the extraordinary Mr. Matt Durzik, which he'll end up being an adopted co-host there too. You know how that goes. You know how that works. But that comes on at 12:30 to 1:30 today here on
Correct. And every Saturday.
And every Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's right after Lincoln Learning Center. Am I correct?
Close. Lincoln Learning Solutions.
See, I'm 3/4 there. We'll see you, Jim. Back. I know you're a little exasperated with me today, Matt, but I've done well. I've done well.
I mean, certainly it's done quite well.
Oh, yeah, we do. Well, our guests carry the show. We always say that. All right, we're talking to Sandra Lane here for our final minutes of the show, and Sandra is a board-certified professional organizer and the owner of Organization Lane. This woman will help you get organized, business, personal, even probably mentally, because a lot of the hang-ups we have about disorganization are mental hang-ups. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of those things are the intangibles that are in our head. How many folks keep a mental to-do list? I bet you've got one right now.
I do. And I'm thinking about what I'm doing when I leave the show. I got 4 appointments to make today. Yes, yes. Man, it's like you read my mind today. It definitely read my mind.
I do it too. I'm not immune to it. We all do. The idea is just trying to get it out of our head, get it down on paper. It's more likely to get done.
What's your thoughts on writing? I'm a big writer. I was telling Matt, I shared this on air weeks ago. I've been journaling since the 90s. I write every day. Sometimes it's one sentence. I could write 10 pages. And at the end of the year, between Christmas and New Year's, I will spend that week going back and rereading the entire year. It's a way that I can refresh. And Jim Rohn was a big mentor to me. If you're familiar with Jim, he's a motivational guy. He was the original motivator, I think, before Anthony Robbins and all these people. But I got that journaling thing 20 years ago from him, and it's really serviced me well. But here, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I do write about my life reflectively, but I don't use the opportunity to write about my agenda for the next day. And do you believe in the idea of don't start the next day until you have it figured out on paper?
I am.
You are? Okay.
I am, because it mentally prepares you. It gets you psyched for what's ahead. And it's time that you are dedicating the night before to just sort of processing. There's a lot of subconscious processing that happens when you know what you have planned for tomorrow.
Okay.
And then you walk in and you are basically in the starting blocks, ready to go, rather than spending time planning your day for the day. You're ready to go as soon as you walk in.
Do you ever wonder in your line of work why some of this stuff really is kind of simple, but we don't do it?
Yeah, probably because we don't like it.
So let me ask you this. Would you not agree, too, that habits are hard to break and new ones are hard to start and keep? And habits are probably, getting good habits are probably a big part of being more organized and planning to being more organized going forward.
True. Right. Yeah, I would have to say a good analogy that I think a lot of folks can relate to, present company included, and I mean me, is going to the gym. How many times have you gone to the gym and it's packed in January, and then by mid-March it's totally empty?
Yeah, I mean, I drive by a lot of gyms. Does that count?
I'm mentally there.
Are we okay till the end of the hour, or do we have to go to one more break?
No, we're good.
Oh, we're good. Oh, tremendous! I always lose track on how many we've had. Talk again about this event.
Sure, I would love to. Yeah, this is an exciting time for us. For the NAPO Pittsburgh chapter is hosting a Get Organized Symposium to help all those folks that may be struggling with anything from, a future downsizing project to getting their car in the garage and anything in between, anything that has to do with organizing. We are here for you. This year's theme is the art of letting go, and it is a half-day event at $15. until January 8th, and then the price goes to $25. There's going to be breakfast, a keynote speaker, 2 panels. Ask the organizer panels, so bring your questions, raffle prizes, vendors to visit that are wonderful, supportive resources for the organizing industry. It's really going to be an exciting event for us, and we're happy to host it at the Embassy Suites in Moon Township. And if you're interested in registering, do so before January 8th so you can get that early bird price. Go to napopittsburgh.org.
That's NAPO Pittsburgh, N-A-P-O, Pittsburgh.org. And I think you're looking for the events section on the website?
That's right. Click events and then click annual symposium.
And if folks are interested in talking to you about your particular business and your professional help, the number is 412-841-7169.
Correct.
Is that correct? And the name of the company is Organization Lane. I love that. And it's organizationlane.com.
That's right.
Is that correct?
That is.
This has been great. This has been
Thank you,
great.
Eric.
It has been.
No, it has been. This is, and Sandra, would you come back on the show?
I would love
Would
to.
you come back for the full 2 hours, and we'll have a whole
Wow.
the full 2 hours, and we'll have an agenda. We'll really put it together where we can, because I think that if we promote that and our listening audience knows that you're coming on, you're going to get a phone call. You're going to get a lot of interaction.
Sure.
This is something that most of us are, present company included, me, in need of, and we are aware that we need to do it. It isn't like, if you're disorganized, friends, you know it. Yeah, we all know what we need to do. How about the cars? I mean, like, I'm a traveling guy, you know, so sometimes I don't want anybody looking in my. I mean, I don't want anybody looking in my windows because you're gonna think, wow, this guy is just disorganized. So I think there's an impression there that a car is somewhat reflective of somebody's state of organization in their life.
Absolutely. So is a desk. You know, do you think that a person that has a sloppy, messy desk is going to get promoted
Aren't they
before
genius?
the other person? There's a lot. Well, it's all in. You know, we don't want to judge people, but it happens. You make that first impression by what they're wearing. You do the same thing when you look at somene's desk or the inside of their car. Don't you take buyers?
We
in
don't.
Your car?
We don't, and that was a big thing.
You just meet each other there?
We do. I think the internet's changed that. There's a lot of safety issues that have come to light in the last 10 years in real. So I don't. That's a good point, and I want to speak about my practice for a second. I don't I have taken buyers out in my car. Rare. I actually like when they meet me, because if we're going to home, I want my buyers, if there's plural, I want them to have an opportunity to speak privately between houses. I think there's some benefit there. I don't need to be in all those conversations, especially when they're discussing the virtues or the pros and cons of a home. But yes, the car organizational thing is, and my car is labeled, and right now I haven't washed it in a week and a half because it's just full of salt, and I keep putting it off. Bad habit, right? I mean, I need the branding to be visible, you know, and it's not right now. So I'm as guilty as anyone, and I'll be the first to tell you. But I do recognize that when I do make a conscious effort to be more organized, I feel better. It's amazing how that works. You know, you feel better.
You know, before, if you are interested in having me back, maybe we can do a little session together.
Sure, absolutely.
So you can get a sense of what it feels like to go through the process. We can work in a little small area. You can maybe share your personal story and what it was like, and then we can.
Let's do that.
Take
let's do that. Let's do that. And this is Sandra. Just she's such a nice person. She does it. First thing she said to me is, "I don't want this to be a commercial about me. I want to talk about this event." And I'm like, "Listen, you're on the radio. We want people to know what you do. You're valuable,
right?
So we're pushing you to." But again, there's so many aspects of this. I don't even know what to ask. I mean, because my mind just goes in so many ways. You know, desktop wise, I'm staring at my desktop. Sometimes at the end of and I use Apple, and I use the Google browser for everything, and they got like 30 tabs out there, and the tabs just keep opening, and then it seems like you get inundated because these websites will have like these clickbait things, you know, and your mind goes one way, your mind goes another way, and before you know it, an hour goes by, and you haven't accomplished really even 5 minutes of work. This has to be a problem, not just with me. It's got to be with everybody.
It is. It is. Well, you know what? As I said earlier, it's a distraction, much like the phone. It's a screen. And I suggest folks close the web browsers and they block out, can only have 30 minutes. You're not missing out on anything. It's 30 minutes. Do focused work for 30 minutes and then take 5 minutes and check your phone, check your email, make sure that the world is still around, and then close everything down again, and then go ahead and work for another 30. I tell you where it's really life-changing, I see it, is with students. That's a tip I offer to students because they really have trouble disconnecting from their phones, and it's the reason why so many of them are staying up at all hours doing homework.
Oh, I got you. I definitely got you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. This was phenomenal.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, and we're this event on January 11th.
11? Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be there. There's no question I'm going to be there because I definitely need the help. But I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you, Eric. You made my first time on radio so smooth and easy.
Cool. Yeah, this wasn't hard, and I'm an amateur. Believe me, I stand here and
even after 70 shows.
Just show 70, but I'm still an amateur. Yeah. How many shows have you done?
Me?
Thousands. So there you go.
At least 100, but
thousands of shows. Yes. So we do every before we close every show is we just speak a little sports here, but the guests were so good today that we're going to talk about one thing. I want the prediction because for a fact, without question, Jacksonville's beating Buffalo. Jacksonville's coming to Pittsburgh. Does Pittsburgh win that game? And if so, by how much?
You know what? I have to say I'm going to be optimistic here on this one.
As Sir Frank Sparks walks in shaking his head.
Well, we discussed this on the air earlier in the week. I actually did a little guest spot on Teleforum where we talked about this. And I say that Pittsburgh is going to go to the Super Bowl. And I think that major key is going to be if they beat Jacksonville. And I'd say they're going to win against Jacksonville, and they're going to win by their magic number all season long, 3 points.
Will it come down to a field goal?
Yes, I believe it will.
Okay, well, this is my thoughts. The Steelers are going to beat Jacksonville by more than 7. They should beat them by 14 or more, but the secondary will give up a big play toward the end of the game, a cheap touchdown, and give all the Steeler Nation panic toward the end. That's my prediction. Now, so the Steelers win. New England is definitely going to win. Steelers go to New England. Who wins?
In the rematch, I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Why? Why are you taking Pittsburgh?
Because I think that the defense will at least learn its mistakes. I think they're going to get to Tom Brady, at least on the ground. And their offense is going to be healthy. You're going to have a healthy Antonio Brown and a healthy Juju Smith-Schuster, knock on laminate. And you put that all together, and I think it'll be close, of course, but I think they'll win the rematch.
I think they will too, and I will tell you this. I think that they're going to need to outscore them. I think they're going to have to come out big and score a lot early, and it's hard to do. It's hard to do up there in Gillette Stadium, but if they jump out early, they can outlast them because I do think Brady's going to get his points. I think our secondary, if we win the Super Bowl with this secondary, I know Frank Sparks will have a heart attack, but if we do win it with this secondary, that is one of the biggest miracles in the history of the National Football League because this secondary can't cover Our Lady of the Worthless Miracle. High school. They can't do it. So I'm just telling you now, that's the problem that I see. So go ahead, Frank. You're here.
You're going to see why Ryan Shazier is Ryan Shazier when they get their butts kicked by Jacksonville again.
Oh, he's definitely missed, and God love him. Are we out of time?
We are out of time.
All right, friends, this has been the Eric McKenna Show for show number 70 here on 1230 WBVP in Chippewa and Beaver Falls and WMBA at 1460 in Ambridge and Moon Township. I am your host, Eric McKenna, on behalf of Matt Durzik and yours truly. Thank you. We'll see you next week, and stay tuned for Linking Learning Solutions.
There you go.
Thanks for listening to the Eric McKenna Show. Content and sponsorship is provided by Eric McKenna, and the show is brought to you by CallEric.com. Tune in next Saturday at 10 a.m. for another edition of the Eric McKenna Show right here on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.